Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture. And today I bring you the start of the much anticipated Cozy Halloween home tour. Today I'm going to start with my front porch, my little entryway as you walk in the apartment and you can see kind of everything from side to side. And then also I'm going to do kind of a deeper dive into my cabinet of curiosities. So also I want to encourage you stay tuned to the end because I focus in on some framed art pieces that you can make at your home in seconds and with next to no money at all. Hang tight, let's get started. All right, so welcome to my cozy Halloween home. This is what I come home to every day, and everything is appropriately dying because it's Halloween and because I can't keep plants alive. But it's quaint nonetheless. It makes me happy. This little guy's adorable. And even though it says unwelcome, I welcome you all in to my cozy Halloween home. Let me close the door behind me. He greets me every time I come and go.
Nobody cares for me. Nobody. Nobody. I'm so sad and lonely. Oh, yeah.
And I may trigger him several times. If these others come on before I am finished, I'll come back and get a shot of them, but they are on a timer.
Nobody cares for me. Nobody. Nobody. I'm so sad and lonely. Oh, yeah.
So, again, backing up to the door, this is what I come home to every day. I'll get in closer here in just a little bit. In fact, I'm going to go to the right first. This is what is meant to be the dining room, but it is my office. But before we get to any of that, let's do kind of a deeper dive into my cabinet of curiosities. So I apologize that this was filmed in the wrong orientation, but it gives you a feel, a close-up feel for what this cabinet looks like, and then we'll address some of the specific elements as we go. So stick with me and let's go ahead and keep exploring this amazing cabinet. So let's take a bit of a closer look. You can see each individual element, but focus in on the framed pieces. I've often talked about how easy it is to take a simple image, a digital image, a card front, whatever it might be, and create art out of it. And that is what I've done in many, many ways in this cabinet. So let's go ahead and look at how I've done that. I have this variety of frames. Now, some of them are from Temu, some of them are from antique shops, some of them were gifted to me or given to me or found, or who knows, right? We all have some type of frame or can find them easily enough, right? These are just Dollar Tree frames that I've painted black. And some are just have been in my stash and I pulled out old pictures, and that one was from an antique shop. And obviously, Dollar Tree, I showed that one recently in a Halloween haul. And I just brought all of my frames together. And here I have printed out just a myriad of different digitals and pulled them all together and thought, how can I use these to create some framed art for my Halloween home? Do I want to use them in my cabinet of curiosities? Do I want to use them as general decor? Do I want to use them as, ATCs or card fronts? What do I want to use them for? So I just brought them all out, and this is the particular stack that I was working with. So I've pulled them all out. I'm searching for inspiration. I've got my different frames and I'm looking for what's going to fit in what frame. So I use the frames themselves to kind of size them up, right? We talk about viewfinders and how we can use like different dies and die cuts and things like that to see what's going to fit in our project. Same concept, right? And most of these are just printed on copier paper. Some of them are on cardstock. Most of them are on copier paper. And many of these digis were freebies. And so find whatever frames you have. We're heading out of Halloween, right? Obviously, this is the last week before Halloween 2025, and we're heading into Christmas. Do you have digis that can be used as Christmas decor? Do you have digis that can be used as Thanksgiving decor? Because we don't want to skip Thanksgiving. We want our homes to be beautiful and cozy and warm and welcoming for Thanksgiving, just like they are for all the other holidays. So, what can you use? Rethink what you already have. You don't need to go buy anything. So, here I'm just taking what I already have and I'm using that plastic. That's the insert. Instead of a glass, it's a plastic insert into this frame. And I'm using that to size up this image. It's just bats. It's just bats flying. And I'm trimming it down. It's easier to trim little bit by little bit than to try to trim too much and then you end up with a print that's too small and won't fit into your frame. So just take it little by little and look how beautiful that is. I love that little image. I think it's so sweet. And now I have this round. This is an antique frame. I bought it from an antique shop, gosh, probably 12 years ago. I don't even know. But I'm sizing up different things that you may not think would be frame worthy, right? Just leaves. Who would think to frame leaves? I don't know. Maybe you would. I didn't until this point. So I was a little overwhelmed with what would work in that circular frame. So I moved on. I pulled out some of these black frames that I picked up from Temu. I know we have differing opinions about Temu. It's okay. It doesn't have to be divisive, right? Use what you have. So I'm just trimming them down, not overthinking it. Now, some of them I won't lie, I did overthink, and I had to have my son come in and I had to get his crafty opinion. I value his opinion very much. He has a wonderful artistic eye. So I bring him into my decision making frequently, and I did on these. But also, you're just putting digital images into a frame. It does not have to be rocket science. It does not have to be like paralyzing in terms of decision making. Just do it. Just choose what pleases your eye, right? So I thought these different witchy images were really fun, really cute. And I have plenty of these frames. Somewhere I even have more of these frames. And I was kind of sizing them up just by size. And then I got better at it. And then I also started using just the plastic in the same way that I did the baddie print. I started using the plastic to size these up instead of trying to cut them down. But look at how beautiful and how prominent those are. And it's just digital images, guys. It's just digital images because that art is beautiful. So why not use it? So here I am again using this circular, I guess it's ovular, golden frame just to kind of size up all these different options. And any of them could have worked, right? Any of them could have worked. But I kind of went back and forth. I love this little ghosty. By the way, it has been the wallpaper on my laptop for probably 2 years now. So here I had my son come in and we figured this one out together. We really like this particular image. We like the way there's space in between the bats and different elements about it that we just really liked. And then we like different ways that we could angle the frame and change that focus. And here we're just talking about it. We're processing. I think this is the only one that I overthought about. The rest I just did. But once you start cutting, you've started cutting, but don't let that scare you. Don't let that paralyze you. It's just paper, and these are digital. So if I messed it up, I could print it out again. It's not the end of the world. And so I literally glued this image to the back of the frame. You can see the glue in my hand. There I go. You could use hot glue, you could use whatever glue you have, and it all peels back off in the end. But look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. On the back, it's a hot mess, no doubt, right? Not trying to fool anybody. But it's just me and my son and our pets. Really, no one else sees this. I'm allowing you guys a glimpse into my home to see how they've been used and to see how I use digital art in a very practical and simple way. I love all of these Jackos. Love them all. And I do get a little hung up on them because I don't want to lose any of the detail. Like the whole image is beautiful on all of these. So it's kind of hard to sacrifice any of that. But again, I can always print them out again for other uses. So trimming down this kind of coven of ghosties using the insert and the plastic as my measuring stick, if you will. Trimming it down within those same measurements. Pop it in, close the door. Bob's your uncle, framed art. And so here's where we're trying to figure out which one of these we want to use because we really like all the finials and all the headgear on all of them. We're trying to decide which ones we want to focus on, which ones we aren't willing to sacrifice. And that was basically the gist of our conversation. So because this guy was a little bit smaller and we could fit more of that image into the framed piece, that's one of the reasons why we went with him. But look at, they're all wonderful. And again, if you end up cutting too much or you want it for a different use, just print it again. And I know the ink and paper and all of that costs money too, but it's not the end of the world. That's one of the benefits of digis, right? And there we're looking at that, we're admiring how well it looks in the frame. And it's such a simple task, y'all. You can elevate any image by popping it into a frame. I have old Christmas cards that I have painted the frames for and painted the frames so that they coordinate with the old Christmas cards with the image on the card. And I've used them as Christmas art for years and years, and I love them. The memories of creating it, the memories of who gave me those particular cards. They're beautiful, and I love it. And so here are the framed pieces that I've done so far, and they're stunning. And I don't know if you noticed them or not in the Cabinet of Curiosities, but I would encourage you to go back and look at them again. Because they all just kind of blend, especially in a Cabinet of Curiosities situation, right? It all just kind of blends together. So here, because it's going into basically an apothecary cabinet of sorts, cabinet of curiosities slash apothecary, whatever you want to call it, I decided I would go with an apothecary image. So you saw me get overwhelmed with all the different options earlier. So I narrowed down my thought process and made it simpler on myself. And these bits that I cut off can be used for something else. I don't necessarily use them for anything else at this point, but I definitely can. So here I have my frame. I'm adding in my image. I add in that cardboard piece that is just excess cardboard from the trash that I put in there just to kind of stabilize my image. And I switch images in and out of this all the time. Now this is a frame that has been in my stash for many years. I think it was my sister's, in all honesty. And here I decided I was going to use it. So it looks very different than the others. And I've used it in a different way. This one ends up not being part of the cabinet of curiosities, but it's very much a part of my Halloween decor. So let's see what my options are. Here I'm just cleaning everything up because it was dirty. It was very dirty, but I just used water. So I'm pulling out my different options, sizing everything up. And ultimately, I love this with just the leaves. I love the simplicity of that. Embracing the beauty of the fall leaves. I pull out my trimmer and I just cut it down so that it fits with the cardboard that's going to support it and hold it in place. Oh, I didn't use my trimmer, I just used my scissors. Just trimming it all down. I apologize for being off screen. It's not rocket science though. Slide it in, make sure it's in the right direction. Use the background to hold it in, and again you want to make sure that it's going in the right direction because this one has a stand. So same thing if you were hanging it, if it were something that, anything that's directional, right? You want to make sure that it's going in the right direction. And look at how lovely that is. Absolutely lovely. Now this frame I have had in my stash for many years. I am not a blue girl, but every now and then I try to embrace it. So I actually went through a period where I had a blue bedroom and ensuite bathroom. Never really, never really liked it. So anyway, I never put anything into this particular frame. This from Marshall's. I don't know how many years ago, probably close to 10, because it was after my daughter passed. And that's been 10 years come January. So it's been close to 10 years since I had this frame and nothing has ever been in it. So I love these little kind of voodoo dolls with their jacko heads and whatnot. And I just love that kind of blue-gray background that they have. And I decided that one of these would go nicely in this frame. And I actually have this in my craft room. I look at it every single day. It's right in front of my desk. It's next to my TV. And yeah, it's very, very cute. I'm looking at it as I speak to you. I love that little heart-shaped patchwork Jacko that he's holding. Jacko holding a Jacko. Super, super cute. Had to clean this up as well because this was dirty too. But just a spritz of water and a paper towel just washes all of it up. And again, taking a little by little off, sizing it up, trimming it down. You don't want to take a big bunch off. But there it is. How cute is that? It's absolutely adorable. And so here is what we have on this day. So we have this beautiful fall pattern. We have the apothecary print. We have this sweet Jacko voodoo doll and all of these smaller framed pieces, the gold frames as well as the black frames. And I could have framed a bunch more, but this is where I stopped. And I have each one of them being used in different ways in my Halloween decor. And again, if you want to go back and, well, I'll put them at the end. I'll put those images again at the end and you can see how I've used them. You might have to look a little deeply into the cabinet, but you'll be able to see how I've used them. So let's take a peek. You can see many of these that I've just framed, as well as some others that I framed by whimsy previously in the year. And you can just see all the other different things that I have going on. And I thank you guys for spending this time with me, kind of the start of the exploration of my cozy Halloween home. And until next time, this is Nancy, the Handy Scandy, celebrating Halloween and thanking you for joining me. Until next time, mwah, I'm out.
Nobody cares for me. Nobody.